What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Rain Man. My name is Kevin, and today on the Rain Entertainment Podcast, Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers, Fernando Tatis Jr., MLB 21, The Show, and DMX. That's what we're talking about this time around. So keep it locked here at the Rain Entertainment Podcast. All right, welcome back to the Rain Entertainment Podcast. I'm the Rain Man. Aaron Rodgers apparently wants to host Jeopardy. Not totally sure how I feel about that, honestly. I know Aaron Rodgers is a funny guy and everything, but I don't know if Jeopardy is really something I can see him doing. But hey, if that's what you want to do, A-Rod, knock yourself out, dude. You might want to inform the Green Bay Packers organization whether you plan on doing this full time or not, because otherwise they're going to assume that you're going to play it next year. If not, you might want to tell them before the draft that they need a quarterback. But who knows what he's planning on doing. Sam Darnold, who has made the news because he is no longer a New York Jet. That's right, the New York Jets are moving on from Sam Darnold. I guess it was kind of obvious, I mean, it didn't seem like they were really wanted him or anything, or if they did, they pretty much just, at this point, they pretty much went, you know what, we're just going to do a whole clean slate at this point. But he's in Carolina, and I'm kind of curious to see what this means for the Jets in the draft, in the NFL draft. Does this mean they're going to draft a quarterback like Justin Fields, or Zach Robinson, who I've heard is another one? Obviously Trevor Lawrence, but I don't see Trevor Lawrence being there when the Jets go in. But, there's probably a few others in there, but those are the ones I know of off the top of my head. So we'll see what the Jets do now that Sam Darnold has moved. They moved on from Sam Darnold. But also, for Carolina, I mean, what does this mean for Teddy Bridgewater? Does it mean he's going back to a backup role again? Or is Teddy actually going to be the starter? If I was Carolina, I'd just start Teddy Bridgewater. Because to me, Teddy Bridgewater is not a bad quarterback. I mean, he's not going to be like, Cam Newton or nothing like that, obviously. But I think Teddy Bridgewater is pretty much what you want out of him. He's consistent. He's not that bad of a quarterback. He's not going to, get you to, elite status or nothing like that. But I think the fact that he can just go out there and play and, he's not going to break records or nothing. But, hey, if you get wins in the process, even if they aren't, crazy stats or anything, I wouldn't complain. And with Sam Darnold, you don't really know what you're getting, really. Because Sam Darnold's kind of like a mystery. Because the Jets didn't have a defense to back him up. He didn't have receivers. He didn't have a running game. He didn't really have an offensive line. So it's like, do you really know what you're getting with this guy? Maybe Carolina thinks Sam Darnold can do something. Well, who knows? I mean, if I had Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, I could do something too. Just saying. And Saquon Barkley still on the mend. Which, thankfully he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and he's pushing himself enough to where he's not going overboard, but he's also pretty much told the NFL and pretty much everybody else, man, he pretty much said, he ain't seen nothing yet. So we'll see. I'm hoping to see him do what he used to do, because, to me, Barkley is one of the best running backs in the game, and I hope he can do what he did beforehand. I want to see him do what he did in Penn State. That to me would make me happy. So I wish for Barkley for a speedy recovery, and hopefully next season he can just destroy the rushing records next season if he tries. So hopefully that will happen. We'll see what happens there. Fernando Tatis Jr. somehow, I think he dislocated his shoulder, I think it was, they said, by swinging the bat. I don't know how you managed to do that. I mean, that's just that's just insane. And the only thing that makes this kind of funny is the fact that this is like not too long after you paid him the big contract. Like, isn't there, like, to me, like, if you think about it, like all the players who've always gotten their payday, like whenever they got paid. Almost every, I'm not saying all of them because I think a few actually did legitimately be worth what they were paid. But there always seems to be something that goes wrong, like almost right after they get paid like that big money and everything. Like either they get injured or they don't produce like they were supposed to produce, like they did before the big payday. You know, in Tatis Jr.'s case, he's got like a dislocated shoulder now. It's just like what is going on? Like getting a big payday is like a curse or something for most of these players. Like Chris Johnson, I mean, granted, this was years ago when this happened, but Chris Johnson held out for more money because at the time he was actually he was a good running back. As soon as he held out for his money and then he finally got it, he played like shit that year. Like he literally got the money he wanted, but then he didn't produce like anywhere near that level ever since then. And I don't think he's even in the league anymore, I don't think. But, you know, to me, it's like, I just don't get, like, when you pay these guys the big money and then they just, all of a sudden, they just drop dead pretty much. You know, it's just like, are you sure it's really worth paying them this kind of money? Especially baseball players. You know, Francisco Lindor got what he wanted, which was insane if you ask me. Not surprising, just insane. Because he wanted Tatis money and he got it. Now let's just hope he can last 10 years and actually play to the same level he did here in Cleveland. I don't know about holding my breath for that, but we'll see what happens with him being a Met now. But yeah, Tatis Jr. is now pretty much. I haven't read or heard anything about his injury, so I guess we don't really know anything yet. So we'll see what happens with Tatis Jr. I can't even say the guy's name now. Jesus. Anyway, MLB 21, The Show, which all you guys know, come out April 20th, I think. 16th or 20th, I don't even know now. They changed the date so much, I don't even know. But the funny thing, I just found out recently that the decision to go to the Xbox, I think it's the Switch too, I'm not sure about the Switch, was Major League Baseball's decision, not Sony. Sony probably didn't even want that idea. You know, they probably hated the idea, honestly. But I think Sony was pretty much at this point where they're going, okay, either we do what the MLB wants, or we probably lose the rights to the baseball. And if I'm Sony, I don't want to lose those rights. So I would have gave in, which I pretty much think that's what they just did. I'll give in just so I can keep the rights to the game. You know, that's how I'd do it anyway. You know, and then obviously, like, to me, my question is like, if this idea tanks badly, which I honestly do not see happening, by the way, you know, I think it would just be funny to see it like tank, just so they can the MLB can just say, yeah, we'll keep it on PlayStation. This ain't worth it, you know. But at the same time, now we got like all the sports games on all the systems. Basketball, football, and hockey has always been on all the systems. And now baseball is. Whether this is going to be like a continuing trend, I'm not entirely sure, because this is the first year this has ever happened. So, you know, we'll see what San Diego Studios and, you know, Sony Entertainment does from this point on, and what the MLB actually decides to do with the game itself. But I'm looking forward to MLB 21, so hopefully, you know, it comes out when it says it's going to come out. You know, it's not going to be delayed like everything else has been lately. And unfortunately, I got to wait till next year for Mass Effect Legendary Edition to come out. But, you know, I can wait for that. I can. Plus, Mortal Kombat comes out, I think, later this month. So, we're all good. And DMX, rap artist, whose real name is Earl Simmons, for people who don't know, he is in the hospital, in the ICU or something like that, because of an overdose, which apparently is not really entirely surprising with DMX, unfortunately. Last thing I read is that he's in a vegetative state. And the most recent thing I saw was that he's, depending on what the brain images or whatever it is, like what that answer is, will determine what the family will do. And that kind of scares me a little bit because I've always loved DMX's music. I've always been a fan of his music. And if he actually dies, I'm going to be kind of upset. You know, I mean, I know there was like a very slim chance that he was going to make another album, even though he said he was making one. Whether that part was actually true or not, I don't know. But, you know, I've always loved DMX's music. And, you know, I haven't seen all his movies, so I can't really say anything about that. I've just seen Cradle to the Grave, and I think that's about it, I think. So, but, like, to me, DMX is like one of the best rappers of all time. One of them, anyway. Not the best. One of them, just to reiterate that. You know, and it's just going to be weird to see, you know, like, hear what happens, you know, pretty much at this point. You know, like, DMX to me has always been an awesome rap artist. I mean, one CD is Undisputed CD was probably the only one I wasn't a huge fan of. Didn't mind it, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. But because it seemed like he was going more towards R&B with that CD than he did with his previous ones. So, but you know, we'll see what happens. You know, I'm pulling for DMX. So if him or anybody who's related to him or any friends that are at the hospital right now in White Island, New York, I think it's called. I think it's what it's called. You know, whoever's out there, if you guys listen to the podcast, please, you know, I'm praying for DMX. I'm hoping he makes it through. And hopefully, I know this is going to sound asinine, but hopefully this will give him that kick in the ass that he needs to finally stop doing this shit. And I give DMX respect because the fact that he's gone to rehab to try to beat this, I think twice at least. You know, so I mean, he's tried and he knows he has a problem, but it's like the demon is winning. That's the problem right now. You know, the demon is winning. The devil is winning. God is not winning right now. And I hope DMX realizes that. You know, whether he's in a vegetative state or not, I hope he realizes that, you know, the devil is winning. You know, you don't want that, man. That's the last thing you want, especially you, DMX. You know, but I pray you pull through, brother. I really do, man. You know, but I'm hoping this is the kicking ass you need to finally realize that you need to stop doing this fucking shit. And I understand. I don't, you know, understand what it's like to go through what he's going through, like drug-wise, you know, to kick that habit and everything. I don't. I've never had that problem, thankfully. But it's like he's shown that he knows that it's a problem. He's shown it. He's gone to rehab enough. He's gone to rehab more than once to prove that he knows that it's not helping. It's not good for him. He knows this. And yet it's the ODing is like not helping the case. This is like the most recent one. And the guy's not young anymore. His body can't just like handle whatever shit he throws at it now. So I don't know what he was thinking, but you know, like I said, I'm hoping he comes through. I'm hoping he lives another 5-10 years or whatever. However, I don't even know how old he is now. I think he's like 50 something. I think maybe I don't know. But that's it for the Rain Entertainment Podcast. Sorry to end it on a sad note, but that's just the way it is. Well, keep it locked here for more shit and more entertainment. I am the Rain Man. I'm Kevin, and thanks for listening to the Rain Entertainment Podcast. Yep.